Can you hear me now? Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anyway, so I think I see. Awesome. Thank Garnett. So what I was saying is, can't wait for football. My Wizards are doing shit in free agency as I expected. My Orioles are sucking, although we won back to back before losing a game, which to be expected. For me, my big thing with the Orioles is I don't mind them losing. It's how they're losing. They're making stupid mistakes, mental errors, blah blah blah. What up, Aaron? Thanks for joining. Go Lakers, dude. Lakers ain't winning. I can tell you that right now. Lakers ain't winning. Garnett, I'm sorry. Especially, I just don't. I would have taken that max salary. I would have put it with a bunch of role players, shooters. That's what that team needs, and I think they're making the mistake with the people they're putting around. I'm just, that's my opinion. A lot of people are disagreeing with me. They think if Kawhi goes there, it's all. Yeah, Kawhi's a hell of a player. All of them are hell of a players. They all tend to get injured, minus LeBron. That was his first year, but and then. The other thing with them is, again, where's the shooters? LeBron's not a consistent shooter. Kawhi is not a consistent shooter. Anthony Davis is not a consistent shooter. So anyway, I don't want to make this about NBA, although I love the NBA. Guys, you can follow me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So let me start with something that I heard the other day. One of the subscribers sent me a message and said, like, and I would like for the people that are joining the chat, if you guys are watching this in the afterward, just put the comments below. He was asking me, well, next year we're going to have some money, right? And then there's two big free agents possibly out in the market, Zeke and Ramsey. So for this, we're just going to assume both of them make it to free agency. He asked me, who would you want? Well, definitely I don't want Zeke Elliott here. That's number one. Let me mute this before it starts going crazy. I don't want Zeke Elliott to the Ravens. I don't think we need him. I don't think he's necessary. I think he's a hell of a player, but I have issues with how he conducts business, off-field issues, and all that. I don't think we need that. But Ramsey, that I wanted him in the draft way back. What's it, 16, 15, yeah, whatever it was. The reason why is Jimmy Smith is probably not gonna be here next year. Clark's not gonna be here next year. That's a big dip in the course, although we had depth, and we're gonna be discussing the defense today. Dude, then you pair Humphries and Ramsey. Ooh, Jefferson and E.T. Ooh. Tavon Young on the slot. Dude, that would be nasty. And we're gonna discuss our team very soon, but that would be very, very nasty. So, let me see. Garnett says Jimmy and Carr go something, and we can. I'm assuming, Garnett, you said somewhere. And then Jay Will said Bobby Warner is also free next year too. So the thing with Bobby, we'll see how our two middle linebackers perform, and maybe Bobby will have to take a pay cut. But versus Ramsey, we're talking about paying Ramsey good money. But yeah, man. Garnett. Man, Ramsey and Humphrey, two big, tough, physical corners. Nasty. And then you have E.T. over the top, Jefferson. And if they want to shave some money from Jefferson, I love Jefferson. I love Tony. But let's say they want to shave some money. They have Elliott with E.T. Man. Anyway, guys, so the reason I decided to put the topic about the defense, right, is I stumbled upon this Bleacher Report, and I'm not a big fan of Bleacher Report, but I thought it was crazy. So let me tell you, is their ranking of defense for the next year. I'm gonna go from 32nd to first, and I'm just gonna read them all, and then you guys decide. I know we have Cincy Bengals fan. Listen, because I think they, in my opinion, I think they have you guys too low too. But hold on. Where's 32? Oakland Raiders. I'm fine with them being 32. And then they had Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31st. Seattle Seahawks 30th. That's how much they have dropped. Miami 29. The Dolphins. The Giants 28. I would have put the Giants lesser than that. No motivation. That defense is not gonna be good. The Niners 27. To this point, I'm not having big issues. Then we go to the Bengals 26. I thought it was kind of low for the Bengals. They do have a good D line, and they have really good safety, or really good safety, not safeties, and a good corner too. So we see some comments here. Ramsey will expect to be the highest paid corner ever. Sure, Thomas Morgan. By the way, shout out to you. Thanks for coming. He will, and the Ravens should have enough cap. Look, there's 27 million tied to Jimmy Smith. Ramsey will get, let's say, 15, 16 mil per year. You can make it happen if they wanted to. But the reality is, I think he is tagged. But yeah. So Garnett. It's not that Bobby cannot come to the Ravens. For me, it's more price wise. I'm not willing to spend. He's gonna be 32 probably for a middle linebacker unless we're desperate. So, not disagreeing with you. If Earl has very good experience, they're buddies. They will try to bring him to Baltimore, but it's gonna be in a discount. Now that increases if Peanut leaves next year. Let me see here. So I said the Bengals 26, the Chiefs 25th. I would have thought the Chiefs would have been lower than the Bengals. It's just me. The Panthers 24. 23 the Cardinals with Suggs. 22 the Texans. I think that was a stretch. They have really good D linemen, but that corners and linebackers and safeties are not there. They lost 2 corners. They were average, but they lost 2. And they lost the Honey Badger. So, Cassim Kelly, what up, man? What up? Thanks for coming. Cassim, I don't know if you're a man or woman, but thanks for coming. Let me see here. Rams, 21st. We're getting to the Ravens. New Orleans, 20th. Eagles, 19th. I think my problem with Eagles is how those corners are going to play. Good D linemen, linebackers, and corner suspect. Cleveland Browns, 18. I'm good with that. What I'm not good is 17. Your Baltimore Ravens. I don't get it. I mean, they attributed to the loss of C.A. Mosley, Suggs, and Zadarius Smith. I don't get it. To be honest, let me keep reading, and then let's go to our defensive team. Atlanta effing Falcons. Sorry, NBA talk here. What up, Johnny Williams? Thanks for joining, man. Atlanta Falcons. Better than the Ravens on defense. By the way, so they also have the ranking from last year. The Ravens were points allowed, they were ranked 2nd, and yards allowed, they were ranked 1. We knew the Ravens were really legit last year. The Falcons, I don't know what the Falcons added. They went from 25 in points allowed and 28 to be better than the Ravens. Buffalo Bills. Now, their defense is decent. I'm not trying to diminish them that they're trashy, but not better than the Ravens. Points allowed 18, yards allowed 2nd. So they were better. They were good last year. Not better than the Ravens, but they were good last year. The Jets 14. This one, it blew my mind. Again, not that they're 14. 14 seems reasonable for them, but better than the Ravens. They were 29th and 25th last year. What are you bringing to the... I mean, Mosley's there, okay, but... I mean, Mosley's not going to make... I think they're going to... think Mosley will make them better. Not that much better. Okay, and if we keep going here, the Colts... I think the Colts are an ascending team. I'm good with where they are. I think the Ravens are still better. Detroit, 12th. Why? The question is why. The Packers 11. I guess Z is gonna be killing it over there. 22nd last year and 18 in points allowed. Almost done with the list. The Redskins 10. Broncos 9th. Cowboys 8th. Jaguars 7th. Patriots 6. Patriots, which is a team that is a no. Let me bet on no break. Titans 5th. I do like the Titans. There's no diminished Chargers. I do like the Chargers. They're 4th. Coming in number 3, the Vikings. I think they're a little high. I'm not saying they're a bad defense. I just think they're a little high. This is the one that killed me, guys. Let me see if you can see this shit. Can you see this? Number 2. Steelers number 2. And then number 1, the Bears. The Steelers were number 2. Because they got what? Bush? At Bush, I would say the same that I say from the Jets. Mostly will make them better. Bush will make them better. But number 2? Come on, Bleacher Report. Come on. Bleacher Report, Johnny Williams. This is Bleacher. Listen, let me go some comments here. Yes, bro, that ranking thing is trash. I agree. The Beatdown Crew, what up? Shout out to you. Thanks for coming. I don't think our defense can be top 5 because we don't have a pass rusher. We'll get into that. The Beatdown. Jay Will. The Falcons are getting back Deion Jones, Neal, but I still think the Ravens have a top 5 defense. I think the Falcons are ranked roughly where they should be. It's just they're not better than the Ravens. And Johnny Williams says, for real, I don't know they rank the team, just don't make sense. And yeah, Bleacher Report. And then the Beatdown says the teams that have a better defense than the Ravens are the Broncos, Texas, Jacksonville, the Bears, because they have elite pass rush, which in the one thing I think the Ravens are missing. And then Cincy says Steelers ain't going number 2. Preach, brother. And you guys were ranked 26. I think that was low. Johnny says, thanks, bro. Yes, Bleacher Report is bugging. How the F the Steelers are better than us. Falcons better than the Ravens. That's where we disagree. Okay, let's talk about our defense. So corner-wise, I think we are arguably at least top 5, right? Jacksonville has, in a good day, better corners than the Ravens. I think we are deeper than Jacksonville. I think top 2, they have a better top 2 than us, if we're going to be fair. And then on the safety side, I will say also we should be in the top 5. We have, I think the Chargers are pretty elite on safety, no disputing that. But the Ravens not only had 2 great safeties, then we have the Joker, which I think I've been preaching this boy since last year when we drafted him. So we have a 3rd safety. So if one of our 2 gets injured, they have a good replacement to come day 1. Well, not day 1. Whenever that player gets injured, to go and ball. Let me see some comments here. We cannot be. This is for Garnet. We cannot be homers, bro. Smith and CJ, huge contribution. Smith allowed Judon and others to produce. Who's replacing Smith? I'm gonna leave the pass rusher to the end. The Ravens always get disrespected by the media. I think the Steelers fan made this. He might be a Steelers fan. I don't know who made the article. The problem I have with this defense is we rely on too many blitzes to get pressure because we don't have pass rush specialists on the interior. Sorry for the typo. That's fine, man. I know you guys are typing, fast, and it happens. By the way, if we have time, I might bring some calls later on today. Let me put it here. That's gonna be the number. So if we have time, we're gonna bring callers today. But I don't know if we're gonna be able to. I'm a fair and firm fan, and the Steelers, to be honest, are pretty stacked. All they had to do is fix that secondary, which is huge. It's a big problem for them. Garnett, you watch the film. Smith got his sacks off of the scheme, I think you're saying, Johnny Williams. Okay, so corners and secondary, I think corners, I said Humphreys, we have Smith, we have Carr, we have Everett, that's 4 deep, and that's outside, right? Then on the inside we have Tavon, really good, and then Canada, which is decent. Going to his 4th year, you think he'll have more of a jump. I'm expecting him to have more special teams role this year. So corners, we had depth. What is it? Safeties, again, we're at least 3 deep. Chuck Clark, I'm not a big fan of Chuck Clark, but sure, that's your number 4th guy, which is not terrible to be your number 4th guy. Linebacker is my you guys are worried for the pass rushers. Linebacker is what I'm worried, not because of the top 2. It's because injuries happen. Love Kenny Young from last year. Love Pina Owasu. Who's our number 3rd? This is what I'm thinking, guys. I think our number 3rd is gonna be Board, whatever. I think you're gonna see more Levine playing on the backer position, because they had the Joker. I think the Joker takes the step on taking Levine's role in that hybrid nickel package. They want to have him in the field. He has sticky hands. He's a playmaker. And Levine will be part of that middle linebacker rotation. He's strong enough to play middle linebacker. He's shifty. He's smart. That's what I'm going to see Levine. And to be honest, we don't have any more depth. I mean, depth is Taki. I don't know. The guy that is undrafted, I did a breakdown on him before. And Chris Board. So we have problems with depth in middle linebacker. Let me hit some of the comments here. Ravens D is and will be the number 1 by far. If Matt Judon shows up, IG's over. This is his contract year. Yes, for him. Everybody else has a chip or something to prove, especially Shane Ray, X Factor, Wink. Oh yeah, Wink is I love me some Wink. Okay, so Gardner says I will never ever be a homer. I love football too much. I'm not trying to be a homer, Garnett. To be honest, I don't think the Ravens are gonna be number 1. But they're gonna, in my opinion, if not, they're not top 5. It's because they're 6. That's what I'm thinking. So Johnny Williams says, "Don't worry, I'm telling, we're gonna be a player. I play linebacker all my life. I know a good one when I see one." Johnny, this is more. I think Board, like Pina, might have flashes, but he ain't gonna be ready. I think he might be good. He might be Pina's replacement if he leaves next year. I think Levine can step up right away and play that backer position, maybe play a higher role sometimes. Again, they want to get the Joker in, and the only way the Joker makes the lineup is if Levine take a step back. But I don't think they want to put Levine a step back. I think there's a position there in that third middle linebacker. So I do think Board will make the team, Johnny. The beatdown says, and that's why I think Elliott will take. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Garnett says secondary is the number 1, no question about that. But the 2 question is pressure, and right now it's a huge question mark. Okay, so as I was saying, middle linebacker for me is one of the biggest questions. And like I said, injuries tend to happen. Who's your depth? Levine is what I'm going with right now. And now let's go on the D-line. Obviously, we have Pierce that is eating too many hamburgers as we saw. But he should be fine. He's on a contract year. He's going to be extra motivated. I do worry that if he drops too much weight, that's going to be a health risk for him. But B. Will, I love B. Will. I know a lot of people don't give credit to Brandon Williams, but Brandon Williams is super solid. If you go watch tape, you see how Brandon Williams is constantly getting double teams, right? And Pierce the same. So there's no knock on Pierce. Third guy. Who's our third guy? So I think, and also a problem that I had last year, who was that backup beefy guy with them? That's what I'm expecting Mac. I know a lot of you love Gerald Willis. I'm expecting Mac to take that position this year. Okay. That's the interior D tackle, nose tackle. That hybrid D end, that 3-4. I'm expecting Wormley to take a step up. I'm expecting also to Zyler. Zyler is a guy that I like a lot. The more that I watch, the more I like. Big guy, big dude, strong dude. What you want is those 3 suck as much as that 5 from the O-line as they can. B. Will needs to step up a little bit more. And like I said, then between Wormley, Zyler, and the question is, are they keeping McPhee? I don't think so, because sack daddy or whatever the hell he wants to call himself, Ferguson. I don't see Ferguson as being a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think Ferguson, especially this year, they're gonna put him in that 3-4 DN. That's what I think. The reason is he's not shifty enough. I think he's gonna suffer what Judon suffered when he came into the league, which was that Judon got inactive a lot. I don't think Ferguson will get as many inactive as Judon did, but he in space, and the Ravens love. I mean, if you watch Judon on a regular basis, he doesn't rush the passer all the time. Sometimes he's setting the edge. Sometimes he's dropping back. So that's what I think they're gonna put in that 3D end. Zyler, a combination between Zyler, Ferguson, and Wormley. And I think that's good. I'm good with that. And then we go to the outside backers. Let me see some of the comments before I hit the outside backers. I say Young Boar on 1-2 and Levine and pass down. Well, you forgot, this is for Johnny, you forgot Peanut there. Kevin Irvin, shout out to you, thanks for coming, man. Remember, Peanut will have Earl in his ear. They have already been watching film together. So, and then Peanut also contract year, getting closer to his payday year. So I'm expecting Peanut to have a hell of a year. The Steelers have a great nickel too in Hilton. Peanut will be okay, but it's more worry about Jack linebacker position more than anything. Love your content, bro. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Silas Stewart. When we do the dime package, go cap, we'll hold it down. Yeah. So Silas Stewart, I watched film from him. There's things I like. There's things that I don't like. He's an undrafted rookie, right? He needs to put special teams contribution. If he gets special team contribution, that's how he's gonna make this team. If not, I don't think so. And Jura, what up, man? Thanks for joining the stream. Okay, now the outside backer, which apparently is the biggest concern of all you guys. So I think Judon contract year should be balling. And somebody mentioned Shane Ray. Shane Ray should be balling. The biggest problem Shane Ray has is those two problems. One, injury. Injury to the wrist. That's huge. So he needs to be healthy. Why a wrist is so important? That first punch is violent, right? So if you have a wrist injury, you're not gonna be able to punch hard. You're not gonna be able to maneuver, to play the hand game as you should if you're completely healthy on with the wrist. So assuming he's healthy, Shane Ray is a hell of a pass rusher. The biggest problem with Shane Ray is his running defense. So he's coming to a team that we beat up the whole running defense up to the outside linebacker. So I'm hoping he can pick that part of the game. But the reason he couldn't make the roster in Broncos is the Broncos were soft on the running defensive side, and he didn't help. His biggest attribution was the pass rushing. But with the Broncos, you have two stout pass rushers. So I think Shane Ray will make this team. I think he will make the team better. I think he's not going to be a starter linebacker. I personally think Bowser, which is the next guy that I want to talk about. Bowser is a hell of an outside linebacker. And the reason is, us as a Ravens fan, been disappointed with Bowser. And Bowser is not, hasn't produced, right? But if you see our D linemen, they all of them start producing. And second, you might have flashes third year. And if you don't produce in the third year, usually you're not gonna be as good. Bowser is a prototypical outside linebacker. He can play in space. He can rush the passer. If you go watch the limited film that is on him, you can actually see he's really decent on the pass rushing side. Decent to good. But I'm expecting him to take a step up. He knows this is his year. Suggs not being there, right? Za'Darius not being there. And Za'Darius, one of the things that I saw a lot, if you go back to see a lot of his sacks come from the inside. If you go back and watch all my what I love and hate videos that I did after the game way back last year, a lot of the comparison that I kept saying, this is not something that I did after the year ended, because a lot of people started comparing to him. It was Perel McPhee. Perel McPhee was a decent outside linebacker, but he was really good inside rushing. And that's what I love Z elevate his game when he can rush to the inside. Okay, so we have Bowser, which I think he's gonna be good. I would say probably gonna be a B minus. Judah, I'm expecting big things. B plus is what I'm expecting him to be. And then Shane Ray as a pass rusher, I'm expecting him to be a B. As a running defensive backer, probably like a C. So he's gonna be a situational pass rusher. So will be Tim Williams, a guy that I see in a lot of flashes. For some reason, he's in the doghouse, but he got into the doghouse. But he has been better in the pass rushing side than Bowser, so I'm expecting him to be even better. Again, thinking that he can. This is his time to step up. I'm thinking he's also gonna be a B pass rusher, and his run defense is like a C minus. I don't know if he's gonna be able to improve on that. So between those four backers outside, I think we have a decent core. And you can still have Perk McPhee, which I don't know if he's gonna make a team. Ferguson can potentially come also in pass situation and rush the passer. But those four, Bowser and Judon, for me, make the team as a starter because both of them can defend the run. Both of them are more dynamic. But you have behind them two really good just see ball, get ball, rush the passer. So are they Broncos and the Steelers, which by the way they only had the one, which is T.J. Watt. I love T.J. Watt. I'm not trying to be Watt biased. T.J. Watt, I hated that he went to the Steelers. I love T.J. Watt. So they have him, and interiorly they have some good D linemen, but outside backers, Bud Dupree's a bum. Vikings have Barr, which is okay as an outside backer. They have a really stout D lineman, and then they have really good safeties in my book. The Chargers is the other team. They have really good outside linebackers on Bosa and Ingram. I'll say Cleveland. We'll see what Olivier Vernon does. Obviously, Myles Garrett. So these teams, it's not like they are killing it in the pass rushing side, but I still don't get the Steelers comparison. So outside backers, I think we're fine. We're not great. It is one of our weakest positions, but it was last year. The corners make the time for the backers. Us playing so much man made that pass rusher be there. That's why they did so many disguise blitzes, because the corners were able to hold. Now you also, on top of the corners, you have E.T. roaming the middle of the field. Last year, the biggest problem for the Ravens, and we still were like 1 or 2, was not forcing turnovers. I hated that we couldn't produce more pressure, but the turnovers was even worse. But if E.T. can provide that next level and the Joker, we look in a nickel package. You put the Joker, you put E.T. You had Jefferson. You put him as a free blitzer. Corners playing tight. Joker and E.T. roaming in the middle of the field. I don't know, guys. I think we have all the pieces necessary in that defense. We should be top 5. Top 6 at worst, but Steelers are not gonna be as good in my opinion. We're gonna break them down. Let me hit some of the comments here. So the Beatdown Crew says Bear, Bronco, Jacksonville, Texans have something that the Ravens are missing. It's players that can get to the quarterback. Yes, but you know what? Let me address the Beatdown Crew. Shout out to you. Thanks for coming. I love the interaction, guys. And I love, you know what I love the most? The pushback. It gives us to be in an honest discussion, right? I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying as gospel. I want you to push back on what I'm saying, and I want you to challenge me. So let me start with, I think Jacksonville has the potential to be better than the Ravens. I do agree with you on that one. The Bears, in my book, are iffy team because their secondary is not as good. But they do have pass rusher between Floyd and Mack. They do. But if you don't have that secondary, the teams are just gonna torch you up, which is what happened to the Texans. Texans, I have it here. Where was the Texans? Texans were, and what I'm trying to look is what was their last year average. See, the Texans, they're behind. They're also low. Where are the Texans? Damn, can't find the Texans. Were they behind us? They might have been behind us. Okay, so I can't find the Texans. The Rams were 21st. Yeah, the Texans were 22nd. Which I think they're too low for this book, but yards allowed were 12. The problem that they have is their corners are not as good, and teams tend to throw. Right? So if your corners cannot hold for a little bit, teams are gonna torch you. And they can provide. J.J. Watt is an amazing player. Clowney gets injured a lot. A big reason, by the way, for all the rumors that Clowney will come to Red. I'm hoping not. I don't want Clowney. Clowney's an injury-prone guy. Okay, so the Broncos secondary is as not the worst, but it's pretty bad. And I'm blanking on the guy's name. Harris is a pretty good nickel corner, but after that, everything is question mark in that secondary. And Texans, the Texans, like I said, the secondary is bad. Sean Abrams, thank you for coming to the live stream, bro. Gerald says Tyus Bowser, right? Yeah, Bowser, that's what I'm saying. Bowser, I think, will be really good this year. John Moore, shout out to you. Thanks for joining the live stream. Damn, I need water. How many shout outs will the Ravens have this year? Let me see. Let me check the schedule real quick. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into the schedule some point. I did a way too early prediction, but look, they could potentially shout out the Cardinals, the Dolphins. So that's the first two. The Chiefs, that's not gonna be a shout out. The Browns are not. The Steelers are not. I don't think the Bengals are. Seattle, doubt it. Patriots, doubt it. Bengals, well, not doubt, it's a no. Texans, no. Niners, maybe. Jets, maybe. I will see between 2 or 4. For Kevin, between 2 or 4, they can potentially have for shout outs. Gerald, you just read my mind. I don't know what I did that I read your mind, but hopefully that's good. Hell, I think the Patriots could have a top 5 defense because Bill Belichick can make bumps into All-Star. So they have the Patriots as a top 5. Thing with the Patriots is the Patriots don't do anything special. You can move the ball on the Patriots. They have one good corner, decent D linemen, pass rushers. The best pass rusher left last year. Middle linebackers, they're okay. Safeties, they're okay. They're not the best. They're not bad. Just okay. I think the Patriots are gonna be good. They're probably gonna be a top 10 defense in my book, but saying they're gonna be 5, I think it's a stretch. I think the Ravens are completely underrated. I think the Ravens, with their secondary, will help that pass rusher, and that pass rush will be also in a part of rotation that will always stay fresh, and it will help our defense ball. So if we can control the game on time of possession like we did on the later half of the year, and our secondary can be like last year, all that will help our pass rusher. So I got you. If they didn't have Bill Belichick, I think they're bottom 3rd, to be honest. I think they're top 10. No top 8 probably because of Bill Belichick. I agree. I mean, again, they have one good corner and then decent linebacker, decent D lineman, right? So any other team has that defense and they're bottom 3rd of the league, in my opinion. Probably like in the 20th. Probably would they rank the Ravens between 18 and 22. But the Ravens, but Bill Belichick will make that team better. Bill Belichick is the best coach ever. There's no doubt. Let me see here. So, the beatdown. I would like to know, you think the 49ers have the potential on defense? The 49ers have been drafting D linemen for the longest time now. And DeForest Buckner, a guy that I like a lot, has been okay for them. Solomon Thomas, I'm surprised that he has been as bum as he has been. Amsterd, I think it was the other guy that was also for Oregon. He hasn't been great. Linebackers, I think the Niners have a lot of holes. And part of good defense is your offense to be good, right? I think one of the reasons the Jaguars were so bad last year was the offense was not good. They kept putting that defense on the field. Well, it's only so much you can do. You're going to get tired, which was the opposite of what the Ravens offense did. They ran the ball, time of possession, and they were just producing. Guys, I'm going to open the lines in case somebody wants to call. If you want to put your opinion on voice, you can call. No swearing. Other than that, I'll let you talk. We can debate a little bit. Like I said also the last time we did this, I'm still kind of new on the phone call thing. So if we have a problem, we'll work it out. Your phone number will not show up on video. AJ Creedon Sr. What up, man? Thanks for joining. Will our offense be better than last year up to when the league figure us out? So this is the thing, because I hear that from the offensive side. And I think this team elevated themselves with a lot of speed. And what I think the Ravens offense will do is open up the playbook on the offensive side with some draggers, some short routes, some also deep throws just to keep the defense honest. The speed that we added to this team, and this is not only because of Hollywood Brown, but Boykins is also fast. It will keep defense honest. Lamar Jackson has been working on his craft. I keep saying I said it when I'm with Newball. I said it when I joined a podcast from another team. They were doing an AFC North rundown. If Lamar Jackson gets better on the open passes, this is not threading the needle. This is not, tight coverage. It's on the open passes. He has a lot of open passes. Hold on, guys. Hello? The Beatdown Crew. Hold on. Guys, can you tell me if you can hear him? I think you probably can't. Yeah. Guys, let me know if you can hear the Beatdown Crew. What is your name? If you want to say it. If not, you can say Beatdown Crew.
Real name is Brandon Williams.
Oh. We have Brandon. Yeah. We have Brandon here. B-Will. Okay. Guys, can you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you can hear the Beatdown Crew? Let me do this here real quick. Let me do this. Let me add that. So hopefully you guys can hear him. And before you go, okay, so they can hear you.
That's good.
Okay, so go ahead, man. I'll let you talk. So, like I said, once the Beatdown Crew finish, if somebody else wants to join the call, I don't have a fancy way to put anybody on hold. So just wait for him to be out, and then if somebody else wants to call, you can call. Okay, bro. I'll let you. The floor is yours.
Okay. I would like to talk about the defense in general. Okay. I do think it has potential to be top 5. My only complaint is it's not the pass rushers from the edges, it's from the interior, because I love Brandon Williams, the other one, and Michael Pierce, but they're only good as run stoppers. Like, there have been times that they get pushed back, and it kind of annoys me to death. It scares me because we gotta go against quarterbacks like Tom Brady. Did we got the Chiefs this year?
Yep, week 3.
Yep. Patrick Mahomes. We got quarterbacks in. We got place quarterbacks like that. And if we can't get that interior push, quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes are gonna have a fine day. They're gonna have a field on the inside. because even if the pass rushers can get the edges, that quarterback can easily I'm trying to think, can easily go up, can easily avoid the edge and then go forward, and then he has enough space while receivers open.
You're talking about stepping up. Because Brady loves to do that shit.
My bad. Stepping up in the pocket.
Yeah.
There's only so much that a corner that the secondary can hold on.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. So this is the thing. I see Pierce and I see Brandon Williams getting double teamed a lot. And that's when we used to have, Nada wasn't a super big on sacks either, but he was better than B. Will and Pierce. But if they're going to get double teamed, that's when you need Wormley, you need Zyler. If they keep McPhee, if they put Ferguson that 3-4D, and that's when you need them to step up so they can rush to the interior. I will give credit to Z. That's where Z made his money. Again, he wasn't necessarily rushing from the outside. Sometimes he started outside, he made a stun, he then rushed to the inside and got the sack. The Ravens do get creative. Go ahead.
And another guy that I think our best interior pass rusher is Willie Henry, but he's kind of been getting hurt. If he can stay healthy, I think he can be our interior pass rusher. He just got to stay healthy. I can see him getting at least somewhere between 4, at least maybe 5, 6.
That's fair.
Because last year, Pro Football Focus, he was ranked like 8. I think he was graded in the 80s. I think above average in the interior.
Yeah, no, I love Willie Henry, but I also have Willie Henry as a guy that might get cut this year. And the only reason is injuries, right? And that there's so many players you can keep, especially D linemen that cannot contribute in the special teams. So if if Henry cannot be part of the team because he gets injured during preseason, he might get cut or might be put in the PUP list. Willie Henry was a guy that I had a lot of hopes. Now, a guy that they have tried to bring the same way that Willie Henry, and he's going to his 3rd year now, not as good, but a little bit taller, helps with the batting passes Wormley. So usually Ravens D linemen start flourishing in that 3rd year, roughly, unless they're better and they get their chance in the 2nd year. So I'm hoping Henry, you can see that step up for Henry. Zyler, even though he's in the 2nd year, I like what I've seen from Zyler. So I'm hoping those two can help. If Henry's healthy, then that. But I know you've been listening. I didn't mention Henry at all when I was talking about the D line because counting on Henry is a stretch. Now, if the dude is healthy, he's legit, and he can pass rush, and also going to a contract year, wanted to get paid, especially getting injured all those years. He wants to be there. He wants to produce. So, if Henry's there, that is going to provide a lot of the answers. I do think if they think interiorly they cannot produce as much pass rusher, that's when Pearl McPhee might stay in the team, and just as a pure 3-4 DN. So, anything else?
Also, when it comes to pass rush, you didn't mention Tim Williams. Why is that?
Oh, I did. I said that my starting two will be Judon and Bowser, and behind them we have really, really good pure pass rushers on Tim Williams and Ray. I think those two are excellent. They're better than Bowser and just purely rushing the passer. They might even be better a little bit than Judon, but Judon can set up that edge. Judon, not great, but can go and pull back in coverage for his zone coverage. And Bowser's even better on the coverage, and he is decent, not as good as Judon on setting the edge, not as good as rushing the passer. But in passing situation, I can see them benching both of the starters, my starters at least, on Judon and Bowser, and putting Tim Williams and Ray, because I think both of them excel on that. It's just both of them have issues on the running game, right? But on the passing side, they're really, really good. And I'm expecting big things from both Tim Williams and Shane Ray. Shane Ray, Going to his 5th year, looking to get that payday next year. I think he's gonna be extra motivated, and he knows there's a place for him in this team. And Tim Williams needs to do whatever got him into the doghouse last year, that he got after the injury, he got inactive. He needs to stop doing that shit, because I think he's a good player. I like him a lot, and I think he has the potential to be pass rusher specialist, similar in not that he plays like him, but damn, I just had his name and blank. The guy that we had on the Super Bowl run in 2012. They went to Cleveland. I'm blanking his name. Anyway, similar to him, that he was morally a pure pass rusher. That's what Tim Williams is. Nothing wrong with that. But he hasn't been able to develop, not that he can, but he hasn't been able to develop in the running game. That's why I think Bowser and Judon, your 2 starters, but behind them are Tim Williams and Ray. That's what I think.
That's fair.
Anything else?
Trying to think. I question the inside linebacker core with depth. Like, what if one of them gets injured, and I'm in a Ravens group, and this is something that a lot of people wanted to do. If either Peanut or Kenny get hurt, people want to move Tyus Bowser to inside linebacker, because I think some people, because I saw him as like similar to Jimmy Collins. I feel like you can put him inside and outside. So if one of those inside linebackers gets hurt, I feel like you can put Tyus Bowser in that role, and I think he'll do very well.
He might be. I saw the experiment with Correa. I think Correa, if we would have just
that
left,
was terrible.
Yeah, I
so
think
bad.
that Correa. I think the problem with Correa was like Bowser. I think Correa was a little bit better actually in the pass rushing side, but he was similar to Tim Williams, but it's not as good in the pass rushing, if that makes sense. And then they tried to make him a middle linebacker because he was vicious as a hitter, but he wasn't good in the open space. Bowser is better in the open space. I think he's a better asset in the outside linebacker. That's what I was mentioning. That what I would like to see is actually Anthony Levine being that third linebacker. I think the Ravens want to put the Joker, Elliott, more and more to the game. And as we put him more and more in the game, the only position that I can see Elliott taking over is what Levine does. That third safety, that nickel hybrid personnel that comes. And Levine has played well. Well, you know what? You can play the Joker there, and you can put Levine as the middle linebacker in those positions. A guy that, Levine is uber smart, uber productive. He can cover, he can tackle, strong dude. That's what I'm thinking. They might put Levine. Levine might take more of a linebacker, and he has played linebacker. He's like a Swiss Army. They put it all over the place. But I think if the Joker stays healthy and he can produce, he has sticky hands, he has good instinct, then we'll put him in the Levine hybrid packages, and then they're gonna put Levine as that third middle linebacker, with Bohr being also like a run stuffer kind of guy. That the other third middle linebacker. So they will just split time between them.
Fair.
Anything else?
Fair. Particularly about the secondary.
Our secondary is, in my book, this is just me, is as top 5 as you can think of. Because not only you have Marlon Humphrey, which for me is one of the greatest corners in the league. He is a top 5 corner in my book. Jimmy Smith is not, and Carr is not. But I love how they play. They're really good. And if you get one of them injured, you have the other guy to step up. Plus, you have them always fresh, because you can also rotate them, right? Not all teams can rotate their corners. And the depth doesn't go down. Plus, you have Tavon Young, a hell of a corner from the slot. And behind those 4, you still have Avery that has shown really good instance last year when he played as a rookie. Kennedy that is up and down, but it's not bad. At that point, I'm talking your 6th corner. So as your 6th corner, he's not as bad. And other players that are also good enough that they can provide a couple snaps. So secondary is really good, and then if you go to safety, you have Earl Thomas, you have Tony Jefferson, which is a safety that is way underrated as a box safety, really good instance-wise. He explosive, short tackle. He will punish you. Earl Thomas is not that. Earl Thomas will be the guy roaming in the middle of the field. And then if one of them gets hurt, and I'm not wishing anybody to get hurt, but it's football, you still have Deshaun Elliott. And fourth, Clark, a guy that I'm not a big fan of, but Clark is really decent as your fourth corner. So depth is there, definitely.
True.
Any other questions?
Well, I think there's a team that I think has the potential to have a top 5 defense, or at least top 10.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Paul Kruger. Paul Kruger is definitely the guy that I was talking about. The Tim Williams reminds me a little bit of, that they were more pass rusher, not necessarily good on the running the ball side or running defensive side, but definitely on the pass rushing side. So go ahead.
That's fair. Okay, the team. Oh yeah, the team. Okay, teams I think have the potential to have an elite defense. Tennessee's
good.
True. Well, they got our defensive coordinator.
That's what makes them weak.
Yeah.
I think Dean Pease is a good coordinator. I just think Dean Pease.
I respect Dean Pease. Well, pretty much everyone's biggest criticism about him is being conservative and also corners playing off too much.
Yes. So, and it all depends your personnel. If you can have corners playing tight, it's just not easy. Very few corners can play tight. And with this one, I'll let you go in case somebody else wants to call. But corners playing tight is hard to find, and our corners can play tight. Look, think about the Legion of Boom from Seattle. Those corners never play tight. They play off the ball, but that's what they excel. One of the first things that Thomas said was like, this defense is more complicated because they basically play cover 3. They stay back a little bit, and for the safety, it's similar-ish because he's basically roaming from the middle of the field and trying to accommodate. But for the corners, he knew the corner was seeing the play like he did. Our corners, that's why we couldn't produce turnovers. Our corners, when you are playing man, so from Dean Pease, we weren't as good as a defense, but we produced more turnovers. When we went to Wink, turnovers went down the drain, but teams couldn't move the ball as much. That's the good and the bad from each defense. That's why they wanted that safety that can be the middle of the field safety. Anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks for calling. Next time that I do this, don't be afraid, man. Thanks for calling and joining the live stream. Appreciate it.
No problem. Same.
Okay, so if any of you wants to call, this is the time to make the call. Thank you for letting me know the audio was great. Thank you for the Beatdown crew for joining the call. I might take maybe one more because it's getting close to an hour. But something that I was mentioning, because a lot of people like, Dean Pease. I think Dean Pease care a lot about turnovers, which all coordinators do. But if you think about it, the corners playing off help you produce that turnover side, and the man side is just not gonna allow. That's one of the reasons you're not gonna see Marlon Humphrey produce whatever many turnovers, and you're not gonna see Jimmy Smith having all the other turnovers, meaning picks. It's harder when you're playing man. If the quarterback underthrows the ball, that's your time to get that interception. If he doesn't, if he throws ahead, or if he throws it tight, or if he throws it a little bit high, when you're turning your head to the ball, that ball's already over you. If it is under, that's when you have the opportunity. So, anyway, I'm gonna I don't see any calls. Any last questions? If not, I'm gonna start shutting the live because I need to wake up way too early tomorrow to go to work. So, The Beatdown Crew. He's taking us from the phone calls and from the chat, and I love it. By the way, shout out to all of you guys for being here. Also, for the ones that had reached me through IG and DM me on Twitter, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the questions. I love it. I try to be very responsive, but if I not, I try to. Okay, so Beatdown Crew says, same here. Also, some defensive coordinators have scheme that tends to the player strength. I do think the best strength for this group of corners is playing man. And then having, hopefully, Elliott. I'm expecting Elliott and ET to have a lot of turnovers. Austin Blazek, thank you for joining the live stream. Shout out to you, man. Who has a better season, Tim Williams or Jalen Ferguson? I'm assuming Tim Williams for sure. I mean, it's hard for any of you guys and me to expect the rookie to come and produce. And next week I'm gonna try to do. Next week I'm on a trip, so the live stream probably gonna be on the later part of the week, or maybe on Sunday. Just so, please, not only be subscribed, hit the bell, because YouTube, if I'm coming live, if you didn't hit the bell, it will not notify you. But as a rookie, you cannot expect them to have this big of a season. If he does, that's awesome. But I'm expecting maybe 3 to 4 sacks. Versus Tim Williams, I'm expecting him to have around 7. That's what I'm expecting from Tim Williams. Unless he goes to the doghouse. But if he stays clean, I'm expecting Tim Williams to have at least 7 sacks. Around 7 sacks. But yeah, look, Hollywood Brown, I'm expecting him to have 600, 700 yards. Boykins around the same, 500 to 700 yards. As rookies, you cannot expect 1,000 yards. And at least for me, it's not realistic. I feel like Lamar will take a step up, and I'm not gonna start talking about the offense because at some point next week, that's what the live stream will be about. We're just gonna dissect the offense like we did today. I think the offense has the potential to be a top 10 offense. It's just in my book, but So let me see here. Gartner says my phone died. Did you guys talk about the Madden rating? I haven't talked about the Madden rating. To be honest, I haven't even looked at it. I know Hollywood had like an insane 97 speed. I think had a decent rate, like a 70 something. So AJ Creedon says, thanks for the chat. Yeah, man. You guys, anytime you want to join. Had time for a last call. No, man. Ask Asmodeus, call. I'm gonna wait for you. Just shoot out that call. I'm gonna wait for you, and then you can charm in with whatever you want. Now, Samuel says, we have a dynasty in the making, guys. Tim is overrated. So, Garnett, since your phone died, and while I wait for Asmodeus, Tim Williams, I think Tim Williams is just a pure pass rusher, meaning he's not as good in the run defense, which probably drives Harbaugh insane. But in a pure pass rushing, on a passing down, is what I'm expecting Tim Williams to make his money. And then Samuel says, Mark Andrews will be one of the top 2 in receiving yards for us. I don't disagree with that. I think he can be a top 5 tight end, especially Lamar that seems to favor them. Okay, so is this Asmodeus?
Yep, this is Asmodeus. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Let me know if you cannot hear him. Asmodeus, the floor is yours, man. Take it away.
Cool. So, what's up, guys? I think the discussion, this one got recapped because I joined late. The discussion was whether or not we can be a top 5 defense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that's a given. It's Baltimore Ravens. The thing is that, we have pretty much all the pieces that we had last year, plus some on the secondary. And that secondary was shut down last year. I think maybe 1 or 2 passes above 20 yards last year. I might be wrong, but it was something like that. The pass rush itself, not as proven as it was last year, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Unproven just means that it's new, like a new technology, like a new toy.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that, it's going to be bad. It just means that we don't know what it's going to be yet. It could be better than what it was last year. Who knows?
Agree.
It's just the uncertainty of it. It's kind of like the lottery, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, so one of the things that I said, like, if we didn't have the secondary that we have, I'll be more concerned with the pass rusher. The secondary will help this pass rusher. Meaning, the Texans, for example, that secondary is horrible, but it helps that the pass rusher helps them, right? Because now you have to throw the ball quicker. Well, our secondary can hold these teams. The quarterbacks had to hold the ball for a couple more seconds, but the pass rusher has to get there at some point. So I do think we should be having fresh guys coming in and out, and we have a lot of guys that have potential. Can they reach the potential is a big question, but usually Ravens make the D linemen, and that for D linemen I'm going to include the outside linebackers, reach their potential, usually. So keep going, man. Sorry for interrupting.
Well, no problem. But I mean, like, when we really think about who we have a pass rush, and then we really think about who we lost last year. So the three pieces that we lost last year were C.J. Mosley, it was Terrell Suggs, and then Zadarius Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Zadarius Smith is basically Penel McPhee, but younger. And then when you talk about Terrell Suggs, he's a great leader, but as production-wise, this has been dropping.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Jalen, I would want to say, is his name Jalen Ferguson?
Yep.
Am I screwing up names?
Yep. No, that's Jalen Ferguson. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Jalen Ferguson is basically a younger version of Terrell Suggs, at least in functional-wise. He may not be the leader yet, but you just got to give him time, kind of like how we had to give Lamar time to be the leader on the offense. But, I totally see him being able to at least take up the production of Terrell Suggs, because, I mean, Suggs was, I think, averaging roughly around, I want to say 5 sacks. I really suck at stats.
Yeah,
I think it's somewhere around the ballpark.
I think last year, I'm going to pull this as you talk, but I think last year he actually got like 6.5 or 7.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean 6.5 or 7. I mean that's good. That's still good production. But I feel like Ferguson will probably get something at least close to that, pretty comparable. And then we lost C.J. Mosley, who was really good for the exception of being able to pass coverage.
Mm-hmm.
We have now Patrick Owasu, and then we have Kenny Young, and then Chris Ward. I honestly feel like he can definitely take over for C.J. Mosley.
Okay.
He showed a lot of flashes and a lot of beautiful things last year. That being said, he was rotational, but I think he has what it takes to be able to take up that starting position.
Okay.
And then when you consider also the fact that secondary is going to be improved, in my opinion, with Earl Thomas versus Weddle. I mean, I think that also helps kind of alleviates some of the pressure off of him as well.
I don't disagree. I do think Ferguson needs a year to develop a little bit more. I think I compare him a little bit more with like Judon. I think he needs, like, Sugg was so good in the running game. I don't know if Ferguson will be like that. I do think he can. It's nothing preventing him for doing it. If Judon was able to, he should be able to as well. But I think what I'm hoping is for Ferguson, to be honest, like I said earlier, 4 to 5 sacks. If he can give me 4 to 5 sacks, that's really good. And then Zadarius Smith, I think Willie Henry, Zyler, Wormley, between all three can probably get 2 sacks each and be near of what Zadarius was doing. Zadarius' most pass rush was in the inside. Also, Zadarius Smith, it wasn't like as a rookie, he came and balled. You can see flashes here and there. So I'm expecting our third-year guys to ball a little bit more. Meaning, we're talking about Bowser and Tim Williams. So, I agree with a lot of you're saying. And then if you go Pina, I think Pina has, not only he's going to a contract year, so that motivates players a little bit more, but he's a hitting guy. He reminds me, I don't know about you guys, he has some flashes of Orr, another undrafted middle linebacker we had, not as big as Orr. but actually a little bit faster or plays a little bit faster than Orr, not as hard hitting or downhill as Orr. And Kenny Young is a guy that I love. I mean, I cannot tell you guys how much I love Kenny Young. And like I said, I'm expecting them to have Captain Levine playing that third middle linebacker in a rotational basis and having the Joker playing the Levine role in the secondary. What is your thoughts?
I can see that. That sounds pretty solid to me, and it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that way, because my biggest fear is on the middle linebacker side, we don't have depth. That's people talk about pass rushers. If we lose a pass rusher here, we have other pieces that can step up. Peanut or Kenny goes down, our third middle linebacker is not as good. Chris Bohr, he's shown flashes. I know people are talking about him, but he's still coming in the second year. Still a lot to learn. I'm not saying. I mean, Peanut was in his third year when he flourished a little bit more, right? Or the same way, third year. So let's say Bohr will be the same. So that's not this upcoming year. So Levine can take that role as the third guy. He's a short tackler, not a big hitter, but a short tackler. You don't need to hit hard every time. As long as the player's down, I don't care if you touch him. And he can help you in the passing game. Plus, then you can unleash the Joker on the other side.
No, I agree. I mean, as far as middle linebacker goes, I agree, but I mean, we could even possibly. This is a wild idea, and then you can refute it as soon as I say it because I think it's just crazy coming out of like when I'm thinking it. But we could even have kind of like one of the people that we have on rotation and strong safety come up in the middle and middle linebacker in the worst case scenario. And the reason why I say that is because in the strong safety you have to pay the box.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have middle linebackers in today's NFL has to be faster than what they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're playing the box, you have to be able to make sure that no runs get through. If they get through the linebackers, then you're basically that line of defense after with the exception of maybe the free safety. So you do have to be able to make open tackles and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, worst case scenario.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think in worst case scenario, I think we can have one of our strong safeties go in the middle, like worst case scenario.
No, I that was something I said also. Like in a passing down, you may be able to bring Tony Jefferson, make him play closer to the line. Maybe he can look like he's gonna play like a zone coverage, and then if he doesn't see it, or if he sees the running back there, he can try to be like a free blitzer. And that way you can have the Joker go up with Earl Thomas. I'm very high since last year in the Joker. I was mad that he got injured and they shelved him for a year, which might have been good. Maybe he needed some help for development. One of the things I can't wait to see is him. I'm gonna go to the M&T Bank open practice if I can, and hopefully I can go to the castle and see him. But yeah, man, I that's not a bad idea on a passing situation. And that's my whole thing. This team has depth. They're not only good throughout the starters, they have people behind. Minus the middle linebacker, but I think they have ways to address that. But on the corner side, on the safety side, on the D-line side, on the outside linebacker side, which the outside linebacker, I agree, not the best group. But, dude, they have the talent. They have the capacity behind. Anything else?
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and piggyback and add one more note.
Sure.
I mean, we have all the players, but I mean, enough cannot be said about Don Martin now.
Oh yeah.
We have the coach.
I agree, and I love what he said to Harp. Said, as long as you're gonna be the coach, I'll be here with you. That's awesome, because I think Dean Pease, he was an okay defensive coordinator, but one of the things that Wink said, dude, you guys can play cover corner, meaning you guys can play man. And it's very hard to have so many corners that can play man. And they were successful.
Dean Pease was good, but he just choked.
The what?
Dean Pease was good. He just choked.
Yeah, I think Dean Pease sometimes got too comfortable, and he made the corners push too back, which made the quarterbacks on the other team have a easy 5-yard completion. And it wasn't because of the corner. We just were playing way off. Now we're playing there. We're playing bump and run. We're trying to move them out. There's a video with, although I criticized them a lot, with Bleacher Report. They were interviewing Weddle, and they had Weddle breaking a play, and they were showing how they were playing man, but the man actually gave, I think it was Tavon Young gave his man to Humphrey. So they were playing kind of like a zone manish. And the guy was like, that's very hard to do. How you guys accomplish it? Weddle was like, well, I can't tell you. That's what my guys. And blah, blah, blah. I love Weddle, by the way. I just think it was time to go. But, yeah, this team is very complex, which makes quarterbacks crazy. But they have the personnel to play that complex defense. Earl Thomas said it. It's like, here, this defense is no joke. It's very complex. So in Seattle, they just play cover 3 basically all the time. Here, we just throwing a bunch of stuff, so that drives the quarterbacks crazy because you might see a formation. This time they blitz you. Next time is man. Next time it's a dime package, or it could be like a shallow zone. Well, next time your D tackle is playing where the middle linebacker is in the zone. So you have a body there, but in the process of things moving quick, that middle linebacker now is a rusher. It's just confusing the O-line. So that's what Wink does. Wink throws you so many different looks. It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, it's like watching a master at his craft. It's beautiful.
Awesome. It's awesome. Can't wait for football, man. Anyway, Zimodius, thank you. Thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining the live stream, even though it was late. Thank you, bro.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, guys, thanks to Zimodius. Let me read some of the comments. If when I finish reading comments, somebody calls, I'll take that as the last call. If not, we're just going to call it a day after I finish all the comments. Kevin says, I have one more question. I believe the reason we moved so quickly from Weddle because of the Mahomes Hail Mary. He just watched Hill catch at the end of the game. He was released immediately after. Well, he wasn't released immediately after. Oh, after the season. Gotcha. I was going to say, well, he played. I think Harbaugh wanted to get faster in the secondary. How this defense play as much man as they play, they need a safety that will produce the picks. They will produce the turnovers. And Weddle wasn't there last year. Again, I love Weddle, but he wasn't there last year. And I think that's why they move away from Weddle. They wanted to see, for example, if Earl Thomas, I think they tried to get the Honey Badger. They could be those guys that will be more ranging and be able to produce the turnovers. So Garnett says Cocap is a dime backer. Cocap is awesome, and we're lucky to have him. He's awesome, and he plays special team really good too. Okay, so and I'm really pulling for Gerald Willis to make this team and contribute as our traditional undrafted. I think either Gerald or D-Mac makes the team. The other guy will make the team in the IR because one of them will get a little hurt, and even though if it is just a sprained ankle, they will make him go to the IR, be ready for next year. Thomas Morgan says Jefferson Levine will get some sack this year. Yes, no, I agree. So the numbers that I'm talking for sacks are more on the corner, not on the D-line side and outside backers. Our safeties will get sacks. I would not be surprised if Earl Thomas rushes and gets a sack or two because again, Wink wants to throw a bunch of stuff at you. You will see Marlins, he looks like he's playing man, and he might bump his receiver, and then he will rush. This team will make sure you're not feeling comfortable. So, let's see here. Austin Blake says, I hope Elliott plays a bigger role too. I think they are, especially if he can continue what he's doing on camp on the preseason. He's definitely going to be in the field more. He can great things in the offseason too so far. Garnett says, you can have players, but do we have a stata game changer on the outside linebacker? Okay, Garnett, we don't have a outside linebacker like Khalil Mack or Von Miller. Those guys are spectacular. those guys have to be like that because they don't have the corners on the other side. Because we have the corners that we have on the other side, our outside linebacker can be a little subpart of that and still be effective. Our corners will give the outside backers time versus Mac has to be there. He has to get there quick. If not, then then they just burn the corners. How can I call or we can do it next time you go live? I know you go to work tomorrow. Bro, that's the number. You can Garnett, you can call there. You can call, you can be the last call before we head out. You can just do it through your cell phone. So Austin says, I think all those times we looked down on Weddle last season, this season Earl Thomas will make those plays and it'll be huge. Samuel says, good call. Yes, good call. Thank you for Asmodeus. And the other person was the Beatdown crew. Thanks for both of you. You guys were awesome. Great callers, great insight. When I'm asking for callers, I just want people just to call, chime in. Like I said, open debate. In the chat room, I do the same thing. Arrow puts our secondary over the top. I agree with that. I believe in our team. Don Dimelo, what up, bro? Thanks for joining the live stream. Asmodeus says, the phone number is on the bottom. Oh yeah, that's what I said. Wolfgang, thanks for coming. What up? You are joining at the end of the stream, but guys, it was awesome. I'm gonna try to do this, especially I don't do it with Nubo. That's his channel. I join his channel. That's why you see all the live streams are in his channel, not in my channel. But for my channel, my hope is we can keep doing this. I didn't do it for when I have podcast guests because we're just trying to debate. But I'm hoping also in the near future, especially when the season starts, to get 1 or 2 calls so you guys can ask the other podcasters questions you guys have. Any other things you guys want to see for the channel, just let me know. I'm trying to produce a lot of different content. Obviously, this is part of the season. There's not a lot to talk about. If I ended up going to training camp, I'm going to try to stream. If I go to M&T Bank, I can stream. If I go to the castle, they don't let me stream, but I'm going to try to film a couple of videos, and I'll upload it in IG probably. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining the live stream. If always, please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, IG, subscribe. The best thing you can do is share my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000. Once we get to 500, there's gonna be another giveaway. Last giveaway, the one was Lucky Oceana, I think is his name. So shout out to him for winning that the prize. It was a Ravens cap. But if you do me a favor, please like this video. Please share the channel as we're growing. And any feedback is more than appreciated. I love to hear from you. I love to see what is working, what is not. You guys make this channel possible. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we can do a live stream with Nubo this week. But if not, next time this week, I'll be here. Take care, guys. Peace out.